Hey, what's up, gang? So today, right, you know how we butchered the goat the other day? So today, look what we got. So I'm gonna just show y'all my recipe on how I make curry goat. These are all my ingredients right here that I'm gonna be using. Got the curry powder, got the Tony chacere we seasoning with, got some salt, got some minced garlic. We're gonna use this to make our chicken stock for our liquid. We got some red onion. We got the yellow onion. We got some potatoes, carrots, habaneros. Then we got some bell peppers that we're gonna marinate it in. All right, so now it's time to cut up all the vegetables. You wanna do this first? I mean, it just helps out so much just to have everything prepared before it's time to actually use it, but especially chopping up the vegetables. So I'm just chopping up the red bell pepper, the green bell pepper, the onions, and the potatoes. I figure that, you know, just putting them each on the plate that they're gonna go in. So with the red bell peppers and the green bell peppers and the red onions, I'm gonna put those inside of a paste that I'm gonna make. I'm gonna just put that all in the blender with some olive oil, and I'm just gonna blend that together, and that's gonna use to marinate the goat with. I'm also chopping up my potatoes as well, you know, just being prepared. And here you go. You got your onion, you got your red onion, your bell peppers, and your potatoes. Now it's time to wash off our goat. Now these are the goat ribs that I'm using. The goat ribs, I mean, I really like the goat ribs. Most people might not like them. They might say, well, it's too fatty or whatever the case may be, but I like the goat ribs. So what I'm doing now, I'm just washing them off and I'm just cutting them up into manageable pieces to actually put in the goat. I'm using my butcher knife to go ahead and break those bones up because they are kind of hard to break up. So you got to have a sharp knife and a butcher knife so you can be able to chop those bones, chop through those bones. Now I'm gonna wash them off, and there you have it. Now it's time to make our puree that we're gonna marinate our goat in. So like I said, you got the red onion, you got the bell peppers. I'm just putting it all in the food processor, and I'm gonna add 3 scotch bonnets or habaneros, whichever one you choose. I like the scotch bonnets better, but I didn't have any, so I just used habaneros. And I put some olive oil in there, and I just blend it up, just so it can have a good consistency. And I'm gonna have to add a little bit more of that olive oil in, but this is the end product you got. Now we have our goat in the bowl. Now it's time to season. So I'm gonna season it before I put that puree in it, that marinade. So I'm just gonna use some salt, some coarse salt. I'm gonna use some Tony chacere's Creole seasoning. I mean, you gotta put Tony's on everything. I'm telling you, if you don't use Tony's, get you some Tony's. It's gonna make you sneeze though, I will warn you. Tony chacere seasoning is gonna make you sneeze. Then I'm gonna put some curry powder. It doesn't really matter what curry powder you buy. I usually buy curry powder out of the grocery store, like off the ethnic aisles. So I just usually buy that curry powder. I mean, it doesn't really make a huge difference, honestly. But you know, some people have particular preferences on their curry powder. Me, not so much. And I'm also gonna put some minced garlic in there as well. That garlic is gonna give it a good flavor as well. So now you just mix it up with your hands. Get your hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? You can use a glove if you want to, I don't. Now we're gonna put our puree in there. I know it might look, you know, not appetizing, but trust me when I tell you, those flavors is gonna get in there. And then we just gonna let that marinate. I would suggest letting it marinate overnight, but for this video, I just let it marinate for about 30 minutes. So I have right here some lamb lard that I rendered down from a sheep that I butchered. And this is gonna give it a good flavor. This is gonna give it a real good flavor. We got our cast iron pot. Now we're gonna add our onions. We're gonna saute our onions first. So you can see we got our onions sauteing in that lamb lard. And then we're just gonna let it do its thing. Now you see those onions are sweating, they getting really tender. Now it's time to add the goat in. And we also got our eggs boiling on the stove as well, because I'm gonna put the eggs in there later on. So now we have it going. We got we basically sauteing it a little bit. You're gonna put your stove on high and let that kind of cook for a little bit like that. Let that goat cook for a little bit. Look at it, it's coming together already. Now we're gonna cover it. We're gonna cover it and let it cook for about 30 minutes. Take the top off, and you can see it's cooking down real good. Now we're gonna add our chicken stock. Now what I use is that chicken bouillon with some water, and I just mixed it together, and that's what we're using for our chicken stock. If you got regular chicken stock, you can use that. Now we're gonna add our carrots once we add our chicken stock in there. Because carrots take a little longer than potatoes, I'm waiting till the end to put my potatoes in, because you don't want those potatoes to start breaking apart. You want to put those potatoes in close to the end, to where they'll have about 15-20 minutes, and boom, now it's coming to a simmer. And you're gonna put your oven on the medium heat, and now it's time to add the potatoes in. And just get them all up in there good. You know, you just want to allow them to have enough time, and you're going to cover it up. Cover it up, let it cook for about 20-30 more minutes, then or about 25 minutes, then we're going to add our eggs. Now, after we add our eggs, now we're going to use our flour and water mixture to thicken it up. You want to do that close to the end as well, because you want it to be thick like a gravy. You don't want it to be soupy and watery. You want it to be thick. And voila, there you got it. Curry goat. Look how good. Thank y'all for watching the video. I'm about to enjoy a good old bowl of this curry goat. But I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope this video really helped you. This is my favorite recipe on how I make curry goat. If you make the recipe and you try it, let me know down in the comments below how it turned out. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all. And y'all have a good and blessed day. Be safe, be blessed, be easy. Alright? I'm in the hood like a freeze cup. I done did everything except freeze up. Loyal fees and loyalty. That's why